Joining me now is Sky News contributor Louise Roberts and royal commentator Pandora Forsyth. Louise, you've seen Harry up close from childhood. What are your reflections?
Well, you're right, Caro. I mean, the first time I actually saw him in person was when he was walking behind his mother's coffin in 1997. And I remember being with the press pack and we were overwhelmed with sadness for this poor little boy who'd lost his mum. But then, you know, it's easy to forget, of course, that Harry was so well loved and adored by the British public and journalists alike for so many years. And as you said in your intro, it's all come undone so spectacularly since he's married Meghan, which is a real shame. And I do feel that his sort of statement he released via the BBC for his 40th birthday, saying that, you know, he still wants to do good where he can, was really so vanilla and pointless in a way, because it was a great opportunity for him to say, as I enter my 5th decade, I had to have my say, I had to do the interview, I had to do the book, but now I realise I've caused a lot of damage and I want to make amends with my family. I mean, what was to stop him from actually saying in that message, I'm sorry to my family, and actually trying to make good with the people who really should matter the most to him?
Pandora, what's the feeling like on the ground at the moment in the UK with Harry turning 40? No doubt there is some nostalgia.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if we look back 10 years ago, he used to be known as the Playboy Prince. How times have changed in 10 years. He was single, unmarried, leaving the army, not knowing what to do next. Now he lives on the other side of the world with his family, his children, and he's distant from his, I suppose, family of the past, but also still his family. The king, his father, did send him a message today publicly. So I think that's a bit of an olive branch. But I suppose the general feeling in the UK is confusion and sadness about what's actually going to happen with Prince Harry now he turns 40. Is he going to carry on with these royal tours in inverted commas, or is he going to come back to the UK? There were rumours swirling of him coming back recently, but there's no actual evidence of him showing coming back because of all the security arrangements that he has been going on with the Home Office.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens from this point, because I feel like things can't just stay the way that they are. Speaking of which, this week Princess Catherine released a video about her cancer treatment, amongst other things. Here is a clip.
The cancer journey is complex, scary and unpredictable for everyone, especially those closest to you. This time has above all reminded William and me to reflect and be grateful for the simple yet important things in life, which so many of us often take for granted, of simply loving and being loved. Doing what I can to stay cancer-free is now my focus. Although I have finished chemotherapy, my path to healing and full recovery is long.
Louise, what were your impressions of the video?
I think Kate's video is a watershed moment for the royal family as far as they communicate to the public. I mean, gone are the days of reading an auto-cue statement in front of a camera or indeed just pumping out a press release. This was a very evocative and moving video, so genuine. You felt that you got a real insight into the family, but also at the same time that they have still protected their privacy. It's quite incredible. The director who produced it also produced their behind-the-scenes video at the coronation for Charles as well. So you can see that he's built a fabulous relationship and they really trust his work in a way. And it's so rich with symbolism as well. I mean, there's Kate standing next to a tree to signify growth. There's Kate behind in the driving seat of the Range Rover. Obviously, you know, she's in charge of her life from now on. So it's quite amazing. I think those sort of lovely kisses and the cuddles with the kids and, you know, her setting free a butterfly as well is it's a remarkable piece of footage, I think. And I think they've really read the room as far as understanding to be relevant in this age of social media. You do need to invite people into your private lives, and particularly via video. So I think it also gives us an indication of how they will control the messaging in years to come as well.
I think that's an excellent observation. And Pandora, Princess Catherine may have finished her chemotherapy, but she still has a long way to go. You know, what were your views of the video and what can we expect going forward?
Yeah, Louise said it perfectly, actually. The video was sublime. And I think even if you don't follow the royal family, you'd have looked at that video actually from a videography perspective and just thought, wow, this is so beautiful. The messages within it, evidently her love for nature, which runs deep within the royal family, from the head of the royal family through to the lower royals who have stepped back slightly. All of them love nature. Also, her love for her family, which is evident throughout the whole video. The fact that she was behind the Land Rover as well also gives notes of the late Queen. There's so much to digest with that video and so many different poignant moments. But no, she's not out of the woods just yet. And she'll slowly start coming back into public life with things that she actually really wants to shine a light on. So such as the Christmas service, apparently talks are now ongoing with Catherine arranging there about what she's going to do this year, which actually, ladies, isn't that far off, would you believe it, Christmas? But yeah, she's definitely going to be going to do that, and we'll perhaps see her at a couple of other engagements. But these engagements that she does go to will be particularly poignant, and she'll be wanting to spread a message within them. And I think over time, we'll hear more about her cancer journey, which I'm sure will bring great hope for lots of cancer survivors and people who are also dealing with cancer at the moment.
And speaking of poignant, and also this week, King Charles hosted the Black Ferns at Buckingham Palace. I don't think he was quite anticipating this.
Yeah. Why not?
Louise, royal protocol out the window, but how good was this?
Oh, it was wonderful. Apart from the Kate video, which of course we all love on this show, to see the Black Ferns move in for a cuddle, and it's so natural and authentic. And the way Charles's eyes sort of light up and says, well, "Why not?" and they move in for a cuddle, which he then, likens to being in a bit of a rugby scrum, in a beautiful, light-hearted way. But he made them feel so welcome. There was no awkwardness about it, and I do think it was charming Charles at his very best. And he said it was a real tonic and very restorative, obviously having that cuddle with the players themselves. So yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was absolutely divine. And speaking of anticipated, Pandora, Prince George had his first flying lesson this week. He's 11. Tell us about it.
Yeah, 11. He did actually have a pilot on board. An 11-year-old wasn't taken to the sky, everybody by themselves. But no, it was lovely for Prince George to follow in tradition of not only his father, but Prince Philip, as well as others within the royal family. We know they love aviation, and they also have worked in aviation. I mean, his father used to help with the air ambulance and work within that. So, yeah, massively important day for Prince George and the family. They went to White Waltham Airfield, which is just around the corner from the Windsor estate. And when Catherine and William showed up, whilst George was taken to the skies with his co-pilot, they were in shock, I think, the other people within the clubhouse looking on. But of course, they want to live as much of a normal life as possible for the children. So they want to go to these big moments for their children's lives. And this is just one of them. Whether Prince George, when he's older, is going to perhaps be following in his father's footsteps, I'm sure that would make him very proud. But it's obvious his love for aviation is already starting at a very young age and following tradition in the royal family, which is, it's lovely to see.
Yeah, it is very, very lovely. And Louise, Pandora mentioned Christmas earlier, and royal Christmas plans are already being arranged. The Sussexes are invited to Christmas in the UK, but not as yet to Sandringham. What's happened?
Well, this is interesting. So Charles Spence, who of course is Diana's brother and Harry's uncle, has invited Meghan, Harry and their children to Christmas at the Althorp estate, of course, which is where Diana's last resting place is. She's in a tomb on an island in the lake in the middle of the Althorp estate itself. So but that's the news we've had, that they've been invited there for Christmas. I do hope they go. I think they'd be crazy to knock back Charles's request to see them at the family home there. And who knows, it may even lead to some kind of reconciliation at Sandringham with the rest of the family. They've not been at Sandringham for Christmas since 2018, so I think it would be quite monumental if that bridge was built for them.
Yeah. Absolutely. And lastly, Pandora, I've only got about 30 seconds for you, but inflation is everywhere and the uniforms of the King's Guard have not been spared. How big is the hike?
We're looking at about £2,000 a piece, ladies. Very expensive, up 30% on inflation. We see these outside Buckingham Palace. We see them within all of the state events. So they are used, but the Ministry of Defence are saying that there's no other material which would be suited other than these, but obviously animal activists are saying, well, can't you find an alternative, as it's not evidently very friendly for them.
No, fair enough. Now, Louise Roberts, Pandora Forsyth, thank you so much, ladies, for joining us.